Hello everyone and welcome back to my study abroad series and spring quarter 2024 at SCAD Lacoste. On this weekend, my roommate Maddie, our friend Peyton, and I took a trip to Paris. We started off by packing up our things, taking a taxi to the Avignon TGV train station, grabbed some Starbucks, which these blueberry muffins were amazing, and hopped on the train. This was a direct ride, meaning there were no stops in between, so it made it super fast and easy. The views of southern France are something I don't think I'll ever be over. When we got to the train station in Paris, we decided to take a taxi to our hostel because we couldn't quite figure out the metro yet. Our driver was driving a bit fast, so we were definitely raising some eyebrows back in the seats, but when we got to the hostel, it was a great setup and female dorm. It was called St. Christopher's Garde Nord and was only €30 per person per night. After we settled in, we found this delicious lunch spot, then walked over to the train station to buy a metro pass. Once purchasing those, we took the metro down to the Notre Dame. Right on the corner, about a block from the Notre Dame, was this delicious dessert place where they had crepes, milkshakes, and ice cream, and we had to stop by. The food in Paris was so delicious every single meal. Following that sweet treat, we walked around a little bit more to explore and stumbled upon Jardin de Luxembourg. There were so many beautiful sights to see and people out walking, sitting, talking, and relaxing together. Something I noticed while being in Europe is just the slower pace of life.
We're in Cube Tree Land.
Cube Tree Land, indeed.
Welcome to my Minecraft tour.
I built this in survival.
No cheats.
No cheats. No, not here.
After watching Maddie chase some pigeons around the park for a little bit and walking around a little longer, we took the metro back to the hostel to rest for a little bit because we were pretty tired. And then after some resting that evening, we went down to the restaurant that's attached to the hostel and used our free welcome drink to get virgin mojitos.
What do you rate this mojito?
I rate it 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. That's high praise.
You made it really good.
What's your name?
My name is Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Shout out to Georgia.
Yes, Georgia. Back.
These nachos? Fire.
European techno rave music.
The next morning, we got ready and found some breakfast, and while we were eating, there was this lady that came up to our table with her cat because we were admiring how cute it was, but she was talking in French the entire time, and so we just kept smiling, and I don't think she ever realized we didn't speak French, but it was cute.
What do we rate our meals today?
That was like 10 out of 10. That was so good.
Another 10 out of 10 meal, y'all.
After we finished breakfast, we walked around this little flower shop that was just down the street and admired all the beautiful plants, and then took the metro to Musée d'Orsay. Maddie, Peyton, and I bought a Paris Museum pass, and there's different amounts of time that you can buy, but we bought a 48-hour one, where essentially we pay once for this pass, and then within 48 hours of seeing our first museum, we can see any of the museums in Paris listed on the pass's website, using it for entry. The Musée d'Orsay was filled with such a variety of beautiful, beautiful artwork, ranging from all different periods of time. When we completed our journey around the museum, we then found this little snack spot and got this delicious treat, then took the metro back to the hostel. When we got back to the hostel, we rested for a bit, and then I packed up my things and rode the metro down to a different hotel in Paris to go meet my dad. He is a pilot and had a 3-day layover in Paris, which worked out so wonderfully, so I was able to go up and meet him and stay with him for the rest of the weekend, and we had the best time. So that night, we got some dinner, walked around to see the Eiffel Tower, and got a crepe before going back. The next day, we slept pretty late, and then I had to deal with some train ticket changing errors on the train's website, so we were a little bit late getting out the door, but after that, we grabbed some lunch and went to the Arc de Triomphe. We then walked down the street and into some stores, and then walked through a beautiful park on our way down to the Louvre. If you've never been to the Louvre and you'd like to go in the future, make sure you make a reservation on their website before coming, otherwise you will not be able to enter upon arrival. The Louvre was by far my favorite museum we visited. I saw so many art pieces in which I had grown up learning about in textbooks and history classes, so it was so cool to see them in person and put the pieces together there. Another tip I would have for those studying abroad in France and wanting to go to the Louvre is to utilize your student ID and proof that you are studying in France for the possibility of receiving free entry. For example, I used my SCAD ID and then the confirmation email I received stating that I would be studying in Lacoste for those couple of months, and they let me in with no charge. I would not rely solely on your ID to get you into museums and landmarks, but it did work for a couple for me. After that, we walked around for a little bit and then walked into Sainte-Chapelle, which was absolutely stunning. Each row of stained glass tells and displays the story of each book of the Bible. We walked up to a restaurant and found a little snack and treat for the afternoon, and also walked into this chocolate shop. After walking around for a little longer, we went back to the hotel, got some rest for a little while, and then got dinner at this restaurant where they had these amazing cheesy potatoes. As you can see, they just bring them out fresh and delicious. They gave such a big serving, I had to take some to go. Then we stopped for gelato. The next morning, we rode the metro down to Sacré-Cœur, and this sight to see had to have been my favorite of Paris. After that amazing visit, we walked down to the artist district to get some lunch and see the artists at work creating beautiful pieces. We then took the metro to a different part of town to visit some shops, including one of my favorite clothing stores, Zara. Then we walked into Galerie Lafayette with all these stores and this beautiful ceiling. They have this glass balcony in which you can walk out and look at the view. We took the metro back to the hotel and then walked on over to the Montparnasse Tower for sunset, although it was pretty overcast, but the views were nonetheless stunning, and especially at night when the Eiffel Tower began to glow up. We then finished the evening with some dinner and gelato. The next morning, my dad and I had breakfast at the hotel before taking the metro down to the train station where he dropped me off. I was so sad to say goodbye, but so grateful for our weekend together. When I arrived safely to the Avignon train station, I walked down to the bus stop to wait for about an hour for a bus to come to get back to Lacoste.
Okay, you guys, I'm at the second bus stop.
That was a crazy ride. Like, the bus driver did not speak English. I was literally using Google Translate constantly. And then there was traffic, so I didn't think I'd
make it to this bus stop in time, but it's 6:25 and the next bus is supposed to come in at 6:30, and that's the last one that goes to Lacoste. The bus came to pick me up and it was such a stunning ride with beautiful views. Travel via taxi can be pretty expensive, but these 2 bus rides together in total were €5. We did it. We are back. I went straight to the dining hall to grab some dinner, then hiked my luggage on down to Maison Basse where I was living. This concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.